Welcome to a video that's entitled Input Parameters. And in this video, we're going to take the very same stored procedure that we created in the video entitled A Simple Stored Procedure, and we're going to add input parameters to really add some power to this. Now, if you remember, in the video A Simple Stored Procedure, we created this stored procedure. And we've got it hard-coded in here to always pull where the last name is equal to Abel. So notice anytime I call getPhone, so I highlight getPhone and execute it, it's always going to return Catherine Abel. Well, that's kind of neat, but that means I've got to create a stored procedure for every person in the database, and that's not a good idea. So let's talk about how we could use input parameters to solve this problem. Now let me give myself a space here so it's a little easier. And we already have a procedure, so we're going to alter it. We're going to alter this stored procedure. Now, when I alter a stored procedure, it really is just a rewrite. So if I can get the old procedure up, and I'll show you how to do that actually, if I go into my AdventureWorks database, go into programmability, and go into stored procedures, you will see right over here, here is my getPhone stored procedure. All right, well, you'll notice I don't have any parameters right now. There is a returns on it. But if I right click it and choose modify, it will show me the stored procedure as it is in the database, and I can go in here and make changes and then close it and it will save them. But if I want to do this in code, what I can do, I'm going to make this a little smaller. I can just type alter proc and use my old code. This old code's probably going to be gone, but I could copy it out of my modify window. But anyway, alter proc is the T-SQL way to do this. This is an IntelliSense issue about getPhone. Don't worry about it. So what I want to do is anytime that I add a variable above the as keyword, it becomes an input parameter. So I'm going to add a variable. We start with the @ sign to create a variable, and I'll call my variable last name, so it's very descriptive, and it'll have a data type of varchar, and we'll put 40 characters in there. And then I'm going to do something kind of interesting just to show you that you can do this. I'm going to put a default value on there of Abel. Okay, so if I don't mention the stored procedure when I call getPhone, it's going to automatically load the last name stored procedure parameter with Abel. So what I'm going to do now is come down here and notice where last name equals Abel, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to say where last name equals, and I'll put the name of my variable. So now when we run the stored procedure, and we pass in a last name, it gets loaded into the @last name variable. That gets used here. So let's say I put Jones. So it's going to run this query and return the results at where the last name equals Jones, if that's what I passed in as the input parameter. So we've altered our procedure. We added a variable as a parameter. It was above the as command. And we've loaded our variable into the place we wanted it in our select statement inside the store procedure. So I'm going to highlight all of that and alter the procedure, execute, and you'll notice it completed successfully. Control R to make that go away. And now I'm going to use getPhone, and this time I'm going to pass Jones. And when I execute the stored procedure, or I call it using getPhone, I will pass Jones, and you will notice it's given me all of the last names of Jones. There were 84 people with the last name of Jones in my database. Pretty neat stuff, right? Remember the default value of Abel. If I don't pass an input parameter, I'll just take this off and just execute getPhone. Notice it used the default value of Abel, and it returned Abel to me. Let's do something a little different. Let's take this equal sign, right, and change it to like. And when I do that, I'm going to have to alter it one more time because I've made a change. I changed the equal to like right here. So I'll execute that. And now let me go back and execute this. And now I can say getPhone, and I can do everybody who starts with A. So now I can call getPhone, and let's give me all the A's. And I can use the like command, and there's all my A's. Notice there's 911 A's. Let's get the A's with B as the second character. And there's all my A's and B's. So notice you can get a lot of power in these stored procedures by using these variables it allows us to specifically request just what we want, and that's really cool. Now we're starting to make this thing useful, and in a separate video here, I'm going to show you how to use multiple input parameters. So join me for that.